to Nashville used to be really inexpensive, and even just up until a few years ago, things were really affordable here in Nashville, which made it a really attractive place to live amongst a lot of other things. And now people are looking, they're still thinking they can move here for that amount of money, and so they're wondering where all those deals went. Well, I'm here to tell you that those deals went with the people who had the foresight to move a few years ago. So things continue to go up in price and they're continuing to increase, which is making it even harder for people to buy houses here in Nashville. So today we're gonna count down the top 17 cities, suburbs, and towns where you can live in and around Nashville and including Nashville. And we're gonna break down the price point of buying a house in that area and just give you a few key details about what it's like to live there. So let's go ahead and jump right into that. If this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Jen Gramling and I'm a realtor here in the Nashville and surrounding area, and I just put out weekly videos trying to help you get more familiar with Nashville. If you're thinking about moving here, if you're thinking about relocating, this is gonna be a great place for you to come and learn more about the area. And as always, if you have any questions at all about moving or relocating, be sure to reach out to me. You can find my contact information here, or you can also find it in the comments. Feel free to send me a text, send me an email, however you want to get a hold of me, and I'd be happy to help. So let's go ahead and jump right into those 17 towns and talk about what it's going to cost to live here. Okay, so if you've done any research at all into moving into Nashville, you've probably come across Brentwood, and you probably would be able to guess that Brentwood is going to be the most expensive suburb that you could live in right in and around Nashville. So coming in at number 17 is going to be Brentwood. This is not a shocker to anybody who's done any research at all. So Brentwood is located in Williamson County and also partially in Davidson County with a population of about 44,000 people. So it's a decent sized city. So the median home price here in Brentwood for a single family home is going to be about $983,000. So it's not cheap. You can get townhouses in Brentwood as well. Those are going to run you about $348,000. So your single family homes are up about almost 30% in price from this same time last year. Townhomes are going to be up about 14% from where they were last year, with an average days on market of about 3 days. So just keep in mind as we go into these next suburbs and these next cities that when we talk about days on market, a lot of times that will include, those 3-4 days or whatever it is. That's usually people putting it on the market before the weekend, letting it sit there to collect their offers, make their decision by like Monday. So that'll really account for those 3 days. Some houses will obviously go less than that or while they're incoming soon. So you just want to keep that in mind as you're watching for these. Brentwood is just an amazing place to live. You can find some beautiful homes, and the commute into downtown Nashville is one of the things that makes it so desirable. So it's really only gonna take you about 15 minutes to get into downtown Nashville from major parts of Brentwood. From some parts, you may be looking at about 20 to 25 minutes if you're really further out. For the most part, you're gonna be around 15-20 minutes to get to downtown Nashville, and another 20-25 minutes to get over to the airport. So it does make it really convenient to get to a lot of places, which is probably why it has been being established and built out these beautiful homes for so long. So it is the most expensive suburb, but you can find things in other price points, but it does easily earn its spot as one of the most expensive places to live around Nashville. Number 16 is going to be Arrington. Now, Arrington is just a small town. It's located in Williamson County, population only about 3,400 people. So this is probably going to surprise a few people that this would be one of the most expensive suburbs. And that is because it's so small with just a handful of neighborhoods. So your single family homes here are going to have a median price point of about $950,000. That's up about 10.5% from this same time last year. And townhomes, well, there really are no townhomes or condos in Arrington because it is just a small rural town. Average days on market here is going to be 3 as well, same as Brentwood. So just keep that in mind. I do have another video on Arrington. If it's something that you're interested in, be sure to check that out. But there really are only about 5 neighborhoods or so in Arrington, but all of those neighborhoods are very, very nice, which is why they are very expensive. So not a lot of options to choose from, not a lot of older neighborhoods from the 90s or 80s. With those houses that you can flip, these are all really just bigger homes on larger lots and really beautiful constructions. So that's why it's coming in at number 16, and that's Arrington. And when you look at Arrington on the map, it does kind of look like it's out in the middle of nowhere, which it kind of is. So there's not going to be a whole lot of things to do out there, but it really is only going to take you about 35 minutes, 40 minutes to get into downtown Nashville and to get to the airport at the same time. So if you have to commute into downtown Nashville, it's not going to be a horrible commute. And then getting down to the airport as well, it's not going to be a hard drive at all. So the location, as long as you're happy being out in the country, not being around a lot of grocery stores and different amenities, things to do, but you really want to get out and enjoy the peace and quiet of the country, then you're gonna like Arrington. Number 15 is going to be Franklin, which everyone knows. So Franklin is located in Williamson County. It's got a population of about 90,000 people, so it's a really good sized city. Tons of amenities here. So the median price point for your single family homes here in Franklin is gonna be about $770,000. That's up, again, 30% from this time last year, which is a huge increase. Townhomes here are gonna be about $420,000, up from about 15.2% higher than the year previous. So days on market in Franklin, 3 days. 3 days is kind of standard. So if you're looking to buy a house here, you really have to be on the ball. Commuting into downtown is gonna be really easy from Franklin, depending on where you are. So if you're in the Cool Springs area, it can really only take you 25 minutes at the most to get to downtown Nashville. If you're in that west side of Franklin where you're really far, out towards Leapers Fork, out towards West Haven, it's gonna take you a little bit longer to get into downtown. You can consider it maybe even 45 minutes. And then getting down to the airport, typically it's gonna take you about 35 minutes to get to the airport, but the further out west you get, the longer it's gonna take you. And like I said, everyone knows Franklin. Cute, charming downtown. A lot of people who call me are looking for Franklin. Franklin has its own kind of charm, its own kind of reputation. It's very well known, so it is probably the most sought after place to live in that I get contacted for when people are moving to the Nashville area. So competition is definitely high for these homes in Franklin. I have lots of videos on Franklin, so be sure to check those out. Number 14 is going to be College Grove, which is also located in Williamson County. And one thing that you probably noticed is that almost all of these most expensive suburbs are located in Williamson County. These are the most expensive suburbs. So population of College Grove is gonna be smaller again. So really only about 6,000 people, very similar to Arrington. So you're not gonna have a lot of neighborhoods to choose from. There's really just a handful. And then you've also got some really big expensive neighborhoods in here, like Troubadour and the Grove, which really bring up that median price point. So median price point in College Grove for single family homes is gonna be about $744,000. So that's gonna be an increase of about 15% from last year. And then as we go into townhomes, again, no townhomes, no condos. You're not gonna find those in College Grove. It really just is a small town. So according to my MLS, the days on market here in College Grove, actually 0. So a lot of those homes that have been sold though are new builds, which is why it probably reads that way. But things don't sit on the market long here. There's also not a lot that comes for sale. So when they do come up, they go quickly. And so that's down from 4 last year. We were down to 0 at least this month. 0 days on market at least for this month. And then as far as your commute time goes, you're gonna be looking at about 35 to 40 minutes to get into downtown Nashville and about the same to get to the airport. And as far as commute goes, it's really not gonna be a hard commute. It's gonna take you about 35 to 40 minutes to get into downtown Nashville. It's mostly highway driving, so it's really pretty easy. To get in down to the airport, it's gonna be about the same, about 35 to 40 minutes to get to the airport, so not a bad commute at all, which makes College Grove a great place to live. All of these things contribute to making it one of our more expensive suburbs to live in, coming in at number 14. Number 13 is going to be Nolensville. Again, Nolensville is going to be Williamson County. One thing you want to keep in mind is that parts of Nolensville, though, are located in Rutherford County, as well as a small portion in Davidson County. So you're always going to want to check those things with your realtor and make sure that you understand which county you're in. So the majority is going to be Williamson County, but there are parts that are in other counties. So population right now for Nolensville, it keeps just growing like crazy, like all of the suburbs around. Population is going to be about 13,000, which actually is a small town, but it's feeling bigger as it continues to grow. Single family homes, the median price here is going to be about $615,000. That's up from last year about 15%. And again, this doesn't take into account the difference in counties. So some counties may be a little bit more expensive than others, depending on where you are. And then the median price point for townhomes is going to be about $339,000, up 13% or so from last year, with an average days on market here of 2. So one of the great things about Nolensville is just its proximity to really everything. So you can get to Brentwood in 10 minutes, you can get to Franklin in 10, 15 minutes, maybe a little longer depending on what part of Nolensville you're in. But then it only takes really about 30 minutes to get to downtown Nashville, and then really only about 30 to 35 minutes to get up to the airport also. So it's really very centrally located. It's a really cute little town with a cute little historic downtown. Nothing as big as Franklin, but it's just kind of the right size. Not a lot of big box stores, still very small town, but also very cute. So median price point here is still pretty high compared to the national averages, which is why it's coming in at number 13. Number 12 is Thompson Station. You're probably gonna start to notice a trend here, also in Williamson County. So population of Thompson Station is gonna be about 7,900 people. So again, not a huge town. A lot of these towns in and around Nashville are gonna be a little bit smaller. You will get the occasional larger one, but a lot of little small towns, but a lot of people really love them. So single family homes in Thompson Station, those are gonna be median price point right around $610,000 right now. That's up, again, a whopping 28.3% from last year, so just going up tremendously. You will find some townhomes in Thompson Station, so it's not quite that small. Those are gonna be right around $425,000, up 33.3% from last year. So really the price is just increasing, and I do find the more room they had to increase, the more they did. So prices just really going crazy in Thompson Station. It's such a cute little rural place to live. Average days on market is gonna be 2 in Thompson Station. So you wanna get those offers in quick. Commute from Thompson Station is gonna be pretty easy. So you're looking at about 30 to 35 minutes to get to downtown Nashville with no traffic. It's also gonna be about 40 minutes from the airport. Still not a terrible drive, just depending on traffic. And Thompson Station, really, what a cute little town. Pretty rural, not a lot of things going on, but tucked right up against Spring Hill. So if you need to get to any of your shopping, your restaurants, any of that stuff, you can get that in Spring Hill. Really easy to get over there and get everything you need, so you're not out in the middle of nowhere. If you wanna know more about Thompson Station, I do have a video on that, so be sure to check it out. Coming in at number 11 is gonna be Nashville itself. So Nashville is located in Davidson County with a population of right about 700,000 people and growing like gangbusters, as I'm sure you know. Single family homes in Nashville, Davidson County is gonna be about $485,000, and that's gonna be up almost 17% from this time last year. And then obviously you can get townhomes in Nashville. Those are gonna be median price around $315,000, and that's up about 14%, so pretty consistent as far as how much those are increasing since last year. And then days on market in Nashville is 4. So really not seeing a lot of variation in that from town to town. Everything is really in high demand as people continue to move here. So obviously the commute to downtown is gonna be pretty easy if you're living in Nashville, but obviously those side streets can get kind of crowded and traffic can get kind of rough. And with perfect driving conditions to get down to the airport, you're probably looking at about 15 to 20 minutes. So really easy commute. If you travel a lot, you need to get out to the airport, it's gonna be pretty easy, just depending on time of day. Obviously, rush hour can take a lot longer. Lots of great pockets to live in and around Nashville proper, and definitely more affordable than some of these other areas that we've talked about so far, depending on which part of Nashville you're in. Number 10 is gonna be Mount Juliet, which also is one of the more popular ones that I get requests for people who are relocating and moving here. So Mount Juliet is located in Wilson County, and then also, like some of those other places, there's a part of it that's in Davidson County. So you'll wanna make sure that some of the neighborhoods may be split between Davidson and Wilson. If you have a preference for one county or another, for whatever reasons you have, then just make sure that you're staying on top of which house is in which county. So population of Mount Juliet is about 41,000 people. So kind of a medium-sized city, but obviously growing like crazy since lots of people come here wanting to move to Mount Juliet. So median single family home price in Mount Juliet is gonna be about $481,000, which is gonna be up about 17% from the same time last year. And then median price point for townhomes are gonna be about $310,000, which is up almost 20% from last year, with an average days on market in Mount Juliet at 2. So a lot of people do wanna live in Mount Juliet. And one of the really great things about living in Mount Juliet is your proximity to the airport. So if you have to commute, if you travel a lot for work and you need to go back and forth to the airport a lot, Mount Juliet is great because it's really only gonna take you about 15 minutes, if that, to get to the airport from Mount Juliet. So it makes it a really easy commute if you need to get there a lot. Also, going to downtown Nashville, you're looking at about 25 to 30 minutes, but you will want to keep in mind that sometimes that traffic on I-40 going into downtown Nashville can be just crazy. So that can escalate quickly depending on the time of day you're driving. If there's any weather conditions or road conditions, accidents, it's gonna take you a lot longer. So you'll wanna plan for that. Hopefully you can go in, if you need to commute, go in at different times during the day when maybe it's not as crowded, would help you out an awful lot. And one of the fantastic things about being in Mount Juliet is that you're located really close to Percy Priest Lake, and Old Hickory Lake. So if you like being on the lake, if you like being near those, if you want to look for lake property, those are things that are available in Mount Juliet that you're only able to get in a couple other cities in and around Nashville. So that's one thing that makes Mount Juliet really popular. That and the proximity to the airport and to downtown make Mount Juliet very popular. Number 9 is going to be Spring Hill. Spring Hill is going to be located again between a couple of counties. So part of it is located in Williamson County and part in Murray County. So it is going to make a difference in your price point. And again, I think depending on which side you're looking at, it's going to skew these numbers a little bit higher or lower, just depending. So Spring Hill is actually going to be a bigger city. It's very close to Thompson Station. It's going to have about 50,000 people, which has exploded since not that long ago. It used to be just a small town of 9,000-10,000 people, just like the rest of these, but a lot of people moved to Spring Hill at once and it's really grown up quickly. Single family homes in Spring Hill are gonna be about $450,000 median price point, up 28.5% from last year, so almost 30%, same as some of these other areas. And then townhomes are gonna run you right around 280 median price point, which is up almost 20% from last year. So growing really rapid. And your average days on market in Spring Hill is actually only 1. So it is a really popular place, probably because it is a little bit more affordable. So those houses are going quicker. And commute, everybody complains about the traffic in Spring Hill. They did expand very, very quickly. So a lot of those roads can get really congested and they maybe didn't plan the way that they should have, but maybe it was really hard to do with the influx of people coming as quickly as it did. So it should take you about 30 to 35 minutes to get to downtown Nashville, but if that traffic is backed up on some of those side roads or on 65, might take you a little bit longer. And it's probably gonna be about 45 minutes to get to the airport. Overall, people love Spring Hill. It's a really beautiful place to live. It still is really close to Nashville. It's also close to Columbia if you want to get down that way, but it is a great place to live. And it is one of the more affordable suburbs in Williamson County, and also just a great suburb in Murray County too. So it's a great one to keep in mind. Number 8 is gonna be Hendersonville, and that's located in Sumner County. So the population of Hendersonville is almost 60,000, so a really decent sized city. A lot of things, a lot of shopping, a lot of things going on in Hendersonville. Median price point, single family home is gonna be about $441,000. And growing like everywhere else, that's up 22.5% from the same time last year. And then your median townhome price is gonna be around $280,000. And that's gonna be up 18% from the same time last year. And then your average days on market here is gonna be 3. So to downtown, it's gonna be a really easy commute. It's really only gonna be about 25 minutes depending on traffic. So really easy drive to get into downtown Nashville, making it convenient for that. And then to get to the airport, it's gonna be probably about 35 minutes or so. So again, not too bad. Seems to be about equal distance from a lot of these places to get to the airport. Thankfully, that's pretty centrally located. But one of the great things, like Mount Juliet, about living in Hendersonville is that you're located right on Old Hickory Lake. So if you're looking for that lake property, if you're looking for that lake life, you'd love to go every single weekend, you want to get out on the boat or you want to live directly on the lake, Hendersonville is a great place to do that. Just also think it's a really beautiful suburb. So it looks really well manicured. It's very well kept. Lots of shopping, lots of things to do. It's one of the more affordable suburbs, at least for now. And so with so many pluses, it really is a popular place to move, and it is still a little bit more affordable than some of these other places. Number 7 is going to be Fairview, Tennessee, which is located also in Williamson County. And it's gonna be probably the most affordable place within Williamson County to live. And that's because it is a little bit more rural, it's a little bit further out. Population in Fairview is gonna be about 9,600 people, so again, it's gonna be a smaller town. Single family home price in Fairview is gonna be about $398,000 for your median price point, which is up about 13.8%, so it's not going up as fast as some other areas. With your townhomes here, median price around $263,000, which is up actually a whopping 39.2% from last year, which is a huge increase. But again, if you look at that starting point of where that price point was when it started, it was so low, made it so desirable. So it's easy for those to go up very quickly. So average days on market in Fairview is gonna be 4. And then your commute to get into downtown Nashville, it's not gonna be terrible. So it's gonna be about 35 minutes to get to downtown Nashville. And then it's gonna be about 40 to 45 minutes to get to the airport because it's on the complete opposite side of Nashville. So if you're needing to get to the airport, you're gonna have to go all the way through Nashville and all the way east to get to the airport, so it's gonna be a little bit farther. But Fairview is a really beautiful place. Like I said, it's a little bit more rural, but if you wanna get out and get away from things, get a little bit of space, Fairview is a great place to be. And number 6 is going to be Murfreesboro, which is located in Rutherford County. Now, Murfreesboro is going to be a much bigger suburb and a city really in its own right. So it's got a population of about 163,000 people right now. So it's really, really big. Probably going to be the biggest out of all of these cities that we talk about aside from Nashville itself. So your single family home median price point in Murfreesboro is going to be about $395,000, which is up almost 27% from this time last year, with the prices of your townhomes going to be right around $279,000, which is up about 25% from the same time last year, with your average days on market 2. So talking about the commute into downtown Nashville, this is kind of a sticky one. So it should take you about 30 to 35 minutes, depending on where you are in Murfreesboro. So it's kind of like Franklin, it covers a lot of ground. So if you're further south or further east, it's gonna take you a little bit longer to make that commute. But that's with perfect driving conditions. So to get anywhere from Murfreesboro, a lot of times you're gonna have to go straight up I-24, which is probably one of the worst highways that you can travel during rush hour. If things get backed up, if there's an accident, if there's weather, 24 is kind of the worst. So you could be sitting there for an hour getting into downtown Nashville, depending on what's going on the highway. So just wanna keep that in mind. And then getting to the airport, you can be looking at about 40 minutes or so, give or take. So if there's traffic on that highway, you're gonna be looking at a longer commute to get to the airport as well. But it is a really beautiful city. You've got MTSU there, so you've got a little bit of a college vibe going on, and a lot of things just going on in Murfreesboro. Cute little historic downtown center, loads of shopping, tons of amenities. So everything you need self-contained within Murfreesboro. So maybe if you don't have to commute into downtown Nashville, that would probably make it even better. Number 5 is gonna be Lebanon. So that's gonna be in Wilson County, population about 40,000 people. So Lebanon is great. I think a lot of people who look at Mount Juliet and it's getting a little bit more expensive now, are pushing out towards Lebanon. But currently your single family home median price point is gonna be about $385,000, which is up 17% from last year. And your townhomes are gonna be around $285,000 median price point. So obviously, give or take, with an average days on market of 4. So a little bit more. You've got an extra day in Lebanon than some of the other places. So Lebanon's a pretty easy commute to get to downtown Nashville. So you're looking at about 35 minutes, going straight up 40. And then your commute to the airport is only gonna be about 25 minutes. So you're already starting out on the east side of town. So it's gonna be easy to get into the airport. And then also in Lebanon, you are close to the lake still, and you can still get some of those lake properties in Lebanon on Old Hickory. So obviously the closer you get into Nashville, being on the lake is gonna be more expensive. So the further you push out into places like Lebanon, if you wanna be on the lake and things like that, it's gonna be a little bit less, just because your drive time to get to certain places is gonna be more. And so that's just how it works, but you can get those lake properties in Lebanon. And then also they do have their own little historic downtown as well. Lots of shopping, lots of amenities, lots of things in Lebanon. So if you don't mind being a little farther out, this is a great choice. Number 4 is going to be Gallatin, which is located in Sumner County, northeast of Nashville. So one of my last lake cities that I'm gonna mention, but again, a great place on the lake. If you like living on the lake, this is a great place to be. So your median single family home price in Gallatin is gonna be about $384,000, which is up about 15% from same time last year. And then your townhomes in Gallatin are gonna be about $301,000. So those are up 25%. And then 3 days is your days on market here in Gallatin. So population of Gallatin is about 50,000 people. So it's a really good sized town, cute downtown. Again, they've got that historic downtown. A lot of these towns in and around Nashville will have that little historic downtown center. Not all of them do, but some of them do. And it does make them a lot more charming. So your drive time from Gallatin to Nashville, it's gonna be about 35 to 40 minutes. And then your airport drive, it's gonna be about the same. It's gonna be about 35 to 40 minutes to get to the airport. So it's a decent drive, but definitely a doable commute. While Gallatin is a little bit bigger, you do have all the amenities, but you can also get some of those more country properties out there as well and live on the lake. So you can get a real variety of homes within Gallatin. There are gated communities on golf courses on the lake, and you can get those country rural properties too. So you can get a lot of variety in Gallatin that make it a great place worth looking at. Number 3 in our rankings of least expensive to most expensive suburbs is going to be Smyrna, which is located in Rutherford County, just southeast of Nashville. Your single family homes in Smyrna are gonna run about $372,000 median price point. It's an increase of almost 21% from last year. And then your townhomes in Smyrna are gonna be median price point of about $265,000, which are up about 12% and then your days on market in Smyrna are gonna be 2. Population is gonna be 54,000 people, so it's a decent sized town, and also still really convenient and close to Nashville. So again, we run into this. If you're trying to commute into downtown Nashville from Smyrna, it falls along that I-25 corridor. So it could take you about 25 minutes or so, but it could take you a lot longer depending on traffic. So if you're trying to commute in from Smyrna, it can take you a long time to get into downtown Nashville if you end up sitting on I-24. Also the same, you've got to take 24 to get up into the airport. So if you're needing to make that commute, it could take you 20 minutes. It could also take you 45, just depending on what the highway looks like at that time of day. But all in all, Smyrna has tons of amenities, tons of shopping and things. It is a lot more affordable than the other places to live, so that does make it attractive to a lot of people. And you're also super close to other places like Nolensville, like Brentwood. You can get to those places very easily from Smyrna, so it makes it a really central location to live, and also another reason why it's very popular. Number 2 is White House, Tennessee. And White House, Tennessee is located in Robertson County. And population in White House is gonna be about 13,000 people, so again, this is gonna be a smaller town. It's located just north of Nashville. Your single family homes in White House are gonna be around $335,000 median price point, which is up about 20% from last year. And your townhomes are gonna be about $293,000, up about 9.6% from the year previous. So growing just like everywhere else. And White House is a little bit farther out, so it is gonna be a little bit more rural, but you are getting a lot of really pockets of really great neighborhoods within White House. So a lot of builders are starting to move up that direction. When some of the other counties are getting a lot more expensive to build in, they're taking advantage of building in places like White House. So White House is becoming a lot more popular because of its affordability and because of some of those great builders that are moving in there to build. So if you don't mind being a little bit farther out, it's a little bit more rural town. It's a really cute little place though, so you will want to check it out. So if this fits your budget a little bit more and you like some of these builders, White House is a great place to check out, coming in at number 2 for most affordable. Okay, coming in at number 1, the most affordable place to live in and around Nashville is going to be Antioch, which Antioch is going to be located just southeast of Nashville in Davidson County. So your single family homes in Antioch are gonna be median price point of around $333,000, which obviously is the most affordable, which is why it's coming in at number 1. And those are still up from 20% from last year, so still growing quite a bit. So, and then your townhomes in Antioch are gonna be median price point of $241,000, which are gonna be up about 22% from last year. So 3 days on market is kind of standard in Antioch, just like around the rest of the town. As you can see, that's pretty standard. So like I mentioned, it's in Davidson County, population of about 100,000 people. So it's not a small town at all. So you've got lots of shopping and lots of people in Antioch. It's an older town, so it has been being built up for a while. It is close to Percy Priest, which a lot of people like, and it's also very close to Nashville, making the commute a little bit better as well. It's really only gonna take you about 20 minutes to commute into downtown Nashville, again, with no traffic at all. So this, again, Antioch falls in that I-24 corridor where traffic can get kind of jammed up, so it can really affect that commute a lot. Probably because a lot of people live in Antioch because it was close. So that's why you're gonna have all that traffic. But then getting into the airport, it's really only gonna be about 15 minutes from here with no traffic at all. So it does make the commute into the airport a little bit better. So Antioch, just like every other place, is growing by leaps and bounds. A lot of people moving here because of the affordability. And there's just a lot of different areas to check out within Antioch. So there are a lot of different reasons to check out Antioch, affordability being one of them. A lot of people like that lower price point, and being able to get in at that lower price and still be close to Nashville, still be close to where they want to be, makes a lot of sense. So you'll definitely want to check out Antioch. And so that's it. As you can see, there's a lot of different price points. If you're moving into Nashville, if you're looking into moving here, there's neighborhoods and there's cities and towns to fit really every budget. So you'll want to check into all of these. There's obviously more that I can't get into in one video, but these are some of the most common places where people are moving, just counting them down by how affordable they are. So again, if you have any questions at all about moving or relocating, my name is Jen Gramling and I'm a realtor here in the Nashville area, and happy to answer any and all of your moving questions. I'm helping people every day, just like you, figure out where they need to be when they're moving here. So be sure to reach out to me. Again, my contact information is in the comments. It's also right here. So be sure to send me an email or a text, just reach out. I'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. Thanks so much, and I'll see you on the next video.